How would you describe my personality during my childhood?
Extremely outgoing, life of the party.
I think Ashton presented himself how he wanted others to perceive him. He wanted to seem fun and charismatic, and while also maintaining a sense of like being genuine, being himself.
You were always like trying to make everyone laugh, because I remember one time like mom said you were funny, and then your whole bit was being the comedian and trying to relive those moments of making everyone laugh.
I feel like when I was younger, I had friends in a sense, but I feel like it was at my expense a lot of the time.
You would do goofy things, like you would play monster and chase people around the house. You start laughing at things that no one else thought was funny, but you thought was funny, then everybody started laughing. So you always made more things funny than weren't really funny.
Anytime something like funny or something, I would kind of let people make fun of me just so I could fit in a sense, because like, whenever you don't have a place in the world, or like at like even at the smallest level of like a school, you want to fit in so bad that you'll do anything. So then you'll let people walk all over you, whatever, and I kind of let that take control of who I was.
Around family, you were very outgoing, or I guess like direct family. If it was like a big family thing, you were like in your shell. But if it was like anyone else, you were talking, you were doing things to make people laugh, especially if Landon was there. God, the Doofus twins. Never escaped them.
I would say the leader of the Doofus twins. There was two of you and your brother Landon. Always was the one that was leading the jokes. And you could tell you were the one that was in charge of it by the laughter that would ensue afterwards, because it was always louder than anybody else's that would be involved in this situation.
And I started making like these like books, and I'd love to present. So I became more of a outspoken. I loved talking, whatever.
Growing up was different because I would only be there, like primarily when we were really young, I was only there a couple weeks out of the year. But always very silly, always wanting to have fun.
Anytime that I would find something I was passionate about, or like that I enjoyed talking about, I would talk about it. I would include other people in it, because it got to a point in 4th grade where I was making this, it was like a freaking Roblox book, but so I would just get everyone's freaking profiles, and then I made like a freaking murder mystery thing, and I presented it. It was silly. But I would just also, funnily enough, I would kill off the people I didn't like the most. I'd be like, oh no, that sucks.
I remember all the time I'd get so annoyed with you and, you and Landon mostly, but like sometimes you'd do things that just like annoy me, like little kid things. And I'd tell mom, and she'd be like, that's what little brothers do. They're supposed to annoy you. No?
Yeah. What was that like during the pandemic?
Different. It's like a switch was flipped. Just a different person.
You just wanted to be alone in your room. I was concerned with your not wanting to go anywhere, just stay in the bed, ask you you're okay, you just say you're fine, and you would obviously tell you weren't fine, you wouldn't come out and talk to anybody. So I was really concerned. Your eating, like you would not eat a whole lot.
You just crawled into your shell, was alone more, separated yourself. It was hard to watch, because you go from seeing the outgoing, laughing kid to hearing nothing's wrong, everything's fine, and knowing there was stuff wrong. And
Well, before you didn't care what other people thought of you. We always say that you would try something at least once. After it seemed like you became more selective and more like you wanted to stick with the schedule and what you had. Like you liked what you liked and you didn't want to explore out of that.
You've isolated yourself when you were like a shell of who you were before. Like you never came out of your room. The lights were always off. You would sleep, wake up, do your Zoom stuff, laying in your bed, and then would go back to sleep. You wouldn't eat. And it's been like that since then. This happened when you were in 6th grade, and I feel like 5th, 6th, and 7th grade really makes who you are. I feel like middle school is a very important part of like development.
At 6th grade and 7th grade, whenever you kind of need to be more social, like it's like peak needing to be social, honestly, because you're at like you're starting your independence in a sense, because you're not with a teacher all day. You're kind of just like you have more responsibilities.
And I feel like that development socially got taken away from you and a lot of people because of COVID, and so you didn't get to like talk to anyone or do anything, like, because yeah, you had like me there all the time, but also like the same thing happened to me where I was like alone by myself in my room.
But like after online school, I didn't really talk to anyone, so it was just day went by, day went by. And with the cameras being on, I remember people would like take screenshots, and they would like make fun of me, or other people in general, like me too. I mean, I was a big one, and I would always like laugh at it because I thought it was like funny, but I didn't actually think it was funny. It was just like whatever, and it just in the cycle of just kind of cyberbullying that kind of made me even smaller. And
I didn't notice it as much as your mom did at first, just due to work. She would express some concerns, and maybe I probably should have seen stuff earlier, but
Everyone was worried about you, but no one knew what to do. Like I remember Dad talking to you a lot, like asking you what was wrong with you, and like nothing anyone could do or say would change how you were feeling. It was like so internal, and you were so in your own bubble that if anyone mentioned it, you like shut down.
I remember at the end of my 7th grade year, in my sister's 8th grade year, she wanted to go back, but I didn't want to go back because of what was happening.
knowing now what we know back then with the amount of bullying and things that was happening, it makes you as a parent feel like she's telling me stuff that, obviously she knew more than I did or saw it before I did. And it makes you wish you'd have done more to protect your kid back then.
And I remember one of the biggest things, because of how people would talk about my appearance, that I was so self-conscious about it that on my phone, I turned off the camera for all my apps. So like on Snapchat, I had Snapchat, I think in 8th grade. So anytime I would open up the app, the camera would not work. So I didn't have to see myself. That was like, I hated how I looked. I hated everything about my physical appearance.
No parent likes to think about that, man, because when you go back and you look at things, and you'll find out, because you're going to be a fantastic father when you get older. You just got that human quality in you where I hope you never feel like you fail your kid, because when you see him struggle and you don't know what to do, and it's the worst thing in the world to feel.
Like I think a big thing of like the emotional journey that you went on was you and your ex-girlfriend. From what I've known, I mean, you've liked her since you were in like 6th grade. I don't remember, because I mean, a 6th grader's not going to tell his 7th grade brother that he has a crush on this girl, you know what I mean? But like for as long as I can remember, this has been someone that you have like.
Freshman and sophomore year, I remember that like I would any sort of attention that I could get out of her was like the most important thing to me, and I was putting her at a pedestal that was unfair to myself.
And you guys did end up dating for a little while. I mean, it was like the happiest I saw you for a while. Like you had more energy, for sure. Like you had you prioritized something in your life, and it made me happy. Like I enjoyed who she was, and I enjoyed seeing how much she helped you. And I think you always overextended yourself, because I think you expected to finally get something out of it.
Well, I overextended myself way more than I should have, looking back on it, but I wouldn't change anything. I wanted to help her in any way possible, and that if that meant overextending myself and overdoing whatever, it was worth it in my eyes.
You did that emotionally, but you also like had gestures. Like you would like had a thing that unwrapped and said "I love you," and like each page was its own letter, and it like took up the whole living room. And you were proud, and you also. I remember you had like a thing where it's like open me whenever you feel whatever, like hand like letters, but like you didn't just get one for her, like you you hand wrote it for her. You spent so much time for her to feel the way you wanted to feel, I think, honestly. That was also, to me, a shock when I realized it's more so of a facade, and how like that relationship actually, I felt like it took a toll on you emotionally, like having to put up with, this or that, like her emotional issues while also dealing with yours and bearing the weight of all that. And then when that ended up leading to you guys breaking up.
Because I remember after we initially broke up that I was in bed for literal days. Like I could not function as a person. I've never been more sad and heartbroken in my life.
No, like I feel like it took a big hit on you and you lost your footing and you fell back further than, like, you lost more progress than I thought you made. Because, like, I think you put yourself out there for someone finally to see you, like, for your raw self, and you got hurt.
I remember we went to downtown, and after we had broke up, I can't, anytime I go there, it's just thoughts of me and her walking the streets and going to different places and having fun, and now I don't have that anymore, and it just really sucks. I don't know. It's really awful.
I figured out what was actually going on from you whenever you figured out what was going on, how she was talking to other people.
That she didn't care about me in the way that I thought she did. Like, she was talking to other people, and I was just another choice.
I think you finally were done with it, and you were like, okay, yeah, block them, block her. And I think I was, like, I didn't want to make a big deal about it, because, it's not my situation. But I was really annoyed. Like, I was pissed. Like, you had been, like, a great person for her. You were a great boyfriend. You were phenomenal. And you got hurt in return and stabbed in the back.
None of that time was wasted, and I'm so happy that all of that happened and made me who I am today, and that if you're going through a similar situation, that it's going to be okay, and just hang in there. I did, and
the way you've rebounded was twice as fast, if not way fast. Like, it didn't seem like you're like, okay, whatever.
I remember whenever I did find photography in my digital business class, actually, funnily enough, I almost didn't take digital business. They came into the auditorium and they were like yapping about all the stuff, all these opportunities, and they force you to go to the thing. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm not going to do any of these things anyways. And then I come in and I met my teacher, and I thought everything was so cool that like all the stuff they had there, all the stuff you can do, like talking about YouTube, taking all this stuff that I'm interested in, actually have like something that I can be passionate about and go in and do whatever.
First impression of you is when you came in, you were really quiet, kind of reserved. I could tell you knew some people already, you had some friends, so that was good.
Photography is one of the first assignments. I was really kind of nervous about it, but I remember that going out and taking pictures and like having all the different like types of pictures we needed to do for our assignment had me looking at the world in a different way that I had never before.
Because photography is the first thing we do in the semester, and you just loved it right away. You had some really cool pictures. You were always interested in it. So I thought it was one of those things that you took this class because you already liked it.
It's a big photography portfolio that you like put your everything into. And I mean, you figured out everything about that camera pretty much, and now you have that camera. Yeah, I think that digital portfolio assignment, was like where you were like, okay, this is something that I think you realize it's something that you're genuinely good at. And then you found like a love for it.
People would just take pictures, edit a little bit, and throw it out. You were spending hours on it and asking me what do you think of this one versus this one? And I could just see that you really cared to get a really good portfolio.
How do students usually grow when they find something they care about?
When they find something they care about, they just figure out, hey, there's something else I can do in this world. It's not, I go to school, I go to sports or my clubs, and then I go to sleep. They're like, I can do something. I can take a camera and I can make short films, or I can take pictures, or I can do podcasts. And it just gives them, I don't want to call it like a will to live, but it does give them that ownership. This is something I do, this is something I'm proud of.
I feel like everyone needs a form of self-expression in order to get out of their comfort zone and do things. Like, obviously mine is art, and like there's so many different ways to express yourself creatively, and it's a really important part of like mental health, I think. And your outlet of doing so is photography.
I think that you were looking for just something that you could express yourself in, because there's a lot of people in these classes, they do choir, they do performance, they do this. You just didn't find that, and you finally are like, hey, here's some way that I can express myself. That's something I'm good at, and I can get better, and I want to get better.
So I always loved art, but I was never good at it. So finding a medium that was, for me, that felt easy, that was in the same lane of the things that I was interested in. I always had a passion for digital media in general. So having this class as a point of like learning all these things and like trying all these different things to land on something that I like the most was really, really important and impactful for my life.
You know, I always wanted to be a filmmaker, and now, you know, I've made an award-winning short film. We won a regional Emmy for some stuff we've made here. Like, I'd kind of given up on any of that happening before I became a photographer. And then the photography kind of reopened all the doors that I had thought had closed. But
We tried different things. Like, we tried baseball, hated it. That was nothing. Like, you need to get out, and that's like you have friends and your people that you hang out with. And so then we tried lacrosse, and that didn't work. They've worked for a little bit. But photography, like the other students that also enjoys similar, not just photography, but other things that go with it, you have people that you can talk to that understand you, and you have, other than having to hang out with your brothers and sisters and your parents, you have your own identity.
People need an outlet, whether it's, you know, an art form like this or an athletic activity, to be able to go out and channel that negative energy into something positive. Because I think life is pretty dull and boring without those types of outlets. You know, I was always able to go out, and I was always able to play sports and do things like that, and that was my outlet. And, you know, listening to music and things like that was the types of things that would help me therapeutically through bad things and stuff like that. And I see you using music as a way like that, and movies and photography and things like that to help you in a positive way. So
Everyone needs a way to express themselves, and that can look different for anyone. Like, some people just listen to music and they're fine, but like for me it's art, and for you it's photography, and like whatever you're passionate about you should always pursue, because not everyone knows what it is, and it's really hard to find that thing. Like, not only are you passionate about it, but like you're good at it, and you work to like make sure you can keep doing it.
So, in a lot of ways, I don't feel like I chose photography. I kind of feel like photography chose me, because when I started it, I definitely did not realize like what kind of journey I was embarking upon, but it has really completely changed my life. When I take a good photo, when I take a band photo and they're like, oh yeah, that's such a great photo, you did such a great job, I'm like, I didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's how
like
I feel.
I just looked at you being awesome. like you were up there with the lights and the guitar and like the hair and the sweat and whatever it was, you know, like I did not make any of that happen.
I remember when I was first starting out, I was at my grandma Dee's house, and I just like left. It was a family get together, and I just left and started walking around, taking pictures of all this stuff. And I came back and I was just showing my grandma, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, how the heck did you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, it's fun." And I just kept going and going.
It does change how you look at things. Like you can see that like from the right perspective and the right eye and in the right light, the sort of beauty is all around you. You know, ultimately, yeah.
My mom, I remember she was like, she kind of babied me a lot, still kind of does because I'm her youngest, whatever. So she would always be the person to tell me that I can do whatever I want, and that I'm like, I don't know, anytime that I would do something good, she would be the first person to like congratulate me and be that person for me, which I really, really needed that when I was younger.
But how you capture the moment in time of whatever it is you're taking a photo of is so neat. Like I would never even thought to take an angle the way you do it, or the lighting, or anything. I just take my phone out and take a picture. But I could take a photo of someone and you could take the same photo, and the person will look gorgeous, everything will look great. I think you do an amazing job. I think
what is nice about photography is that it lets you it's like you get to translate your way of seeing the world into an image that other people that can then look at. But it has this kind of veneer of objectivity because it isn't a painting or a drawing. The camera captures the light on the sensor, and so it's like it's real and true, but it still is filtered through the decisions that you made about what to capture and how to capture it.
Is photography something that you want to help other people? You don't think on your own?
I've never been a person that really thinks for myself. Well, I think for myself, but I've never been self-helpful. Which is a really not a great thing, but I find a lot more enjoyment in helping other people, getting gifts for other people, making stuff, buying stuff. I'm such a gift giver, just help whatever as much as I can, and I feel like that really translates a lot with how I act with people, whatever. But
it's photography too, because you want to take someone else's picture. You don't want to take your own. You want to document this special thing in their life, not your own.
Yeah, I want them to have, because I feel like I can capture it in a way that maybe other people wouldn't. I try my best to give people something that they'll be happy with.
But I have had experiences where when I used to do school pictures, there might be you might go to a school where there's a lot of special needs kids, and maybe they don't get very many good photos that are nice and professional and stuff like that. And sometimes it takes a lot of luck to make this happen, because it's not just you that does it, but if you have the right patience and you can get the timing right and you can get a really great photo. And it's not like I have been there to see mom or dad's reaction to that photo or whatever, but I've seen the teacher, and the way that they are like, oh my god, mom is gonna love that photo or whatever. And when you get to take a photo like that for a kid that probably doesn't get very many of those, that feels very good. And I don't know if that changed anybody's life. Maybe it only changed my life. Ultimately that feeling. God, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. But it can feel very meaningful.
At that point in my life, I was very sad, depressed, going through depressive episodes, whatever, kind of just living day by day, and having that new view on because I always view Decatur as oh, it's Decatur, it's ugly, it's freaking, I want to get out of here as soon as possible. But as soon as I was able to pick up a camera, go to Rock Springs, go to anywhere, and just take pictures of the small things. One of my favorite pictures is at Allerton, which isn't Decatur, but there's a butterfly, and it's one of my favorite pictures because it's just there's just so much beauty in the small things, and I see the world in a whole new lens now.
There's an Orson Welles quote. I think he said, "A movie is only good if the camera is an eye in the head of a poet." and I think that that is kind of true. I think that when you get used to thinking about things photographically, you start to just kind of look at the world as art in a certain kind of way, right? Like you're seeing that all the time. You live in a world where you see shapes and lines and light and dark, and you might have a feeling that you think you are having, but through art you can find out that actually other people have had it, and actually people have been having it for all of human history, and you are through that you are connected to all of those other artists.
My goals are to, like, right now I'm at W&D doing an internship, and that's really cool. So I would love to end out college, maybe in a job that I get to do photography or even videography, editing, whatever, as like a job, because I find it fun. I'm going into college with like the hope that I can meet people, take a lot of pictures, get a lot more stuff to build up my like portfolio in general. I'm really wanting to study abroad to Italy and take a picture of the infrastructure, which is something I never cared about before. But now, like, I see a cool building, I'm like, whoa. I'll stop my dad. Like, we were in Indianapolis, and he could not stay still for a second, because I'm like, stop. I gotta take a picture of this real quick.
Do you think that having a passion is essential for a person to feel a sense of fulfillment?
Yes. Life would be so much more boring if there wasn't that passion in there. Because I mean, I think that when people can have passion for different things, though. People can have passion for their family, which is what your mom's passion is. Your mom's passion is her family, which is a lot what my passion is now, is my family. Beforehand, I don't know what it was. I don't know if I really had a purpose, but I know whenever I became a dad, everything inside of me changed, and I wanted to try to do everything I could for you guys to,
I do. I'm a very artistic person. I couldn't imagine my life without these creative expressions, because you don't want to just survive. You don't want to just be there. I want to leave something. I want to express myself. So I love taking pictures. I love doing film. I'm directing the play right now. I'm in the play. I need these things. So I just am not just a lemming that's wake up, go to work, eat dinner, watch some TV, go to sleep, repeat it, rinse 50 years.
It's hard to feel fulfilled whenever you're just going through the motions. It just feels like you're just trying to get things done because you have to. Whenever you're passionate about it, it's like you want to do it. I feel like passion is so important for fulfillment, and that was such like a good thing to say, because without passion, you are literally just going through the motions in life, and you have to find whatever makes you want to do something.
What happens when someone doesn't have a sense of purpose?
when someone doesn't have a sense of purpose, I think that leads to them getting themselves into a lot of trouble. It could lead them down a bad path. I think it could lead to depression. I think if you've got a sense of purpose and something that drives you, that gives you some sort of excitement and fulfillment, that is enough of a passion to keep you people away from doing bad things.
I don't know that everybody finds a purpose, and I don't know that there's like a flaw in not finding one, or finding that your purpose is to be a parent, or you know some kind of just normal human regular thing.
And I'm just excited that you were able to find something that brought you passion and excitement, at a younger age than some people. Some people never find what they enjoy and what they like. And this may not be your passion forever, but this could be the passion that broke you out of your shell, that led you to the thing that brings you the most happiness in life going forward. I know.
I think if you find that you're doing something that like resonates with you, then you should keep doing it. And I think that's kind of all that it needs. That's all it needs to be. I think,
Like, I feel like, okay, it's a really stupid thing, but it's like a quote, and it's from Hamilton. But it's like, in one of the songs, Hamilton's arguing with Burr, who was like, his character's like, he didn't want to lean one way or the other, because he didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, he didn't want to, like, step out there. But, like, it says, if you stand for nothing, what will you fall for? That's what it is. It's like, if you stand for nothing, what will you fall for? I think if, like, what are you if you're not, like, what are you truly doing if you're not leaving something behind? And to, like, stay stagnant to what you're doing. Like, what are you truly going to be remembered for, and what are you gonna get out of life?
You know, there was a time when what I was doing was stocking soda in a freezer, and I wasn't like I loved it, but I found I cared about it, and I did a really good job. And I think that one of the keys actually is to divorce yourself from expectations and reward and end results. I think that the thing that the ultimate thing that you really want to do is to just focus on the work.
I feel I go to you more often than I go to more other people in my life that have lived a lot of life, just to ask moral questions about things that I may have an internal struggle with, and I feel you give me more answers than other people would, and then I feel guilty after asking you because you're a younger kid, but you're one of the few people that I trust in the world to give me an honest answer, and I don't know, it's weird.
You are just one of the most friendliest people. You talk to everybody. You will help everybody. Always come in with a good attitude. Never really complain about anything. You know, you're one of those that if I had a whole class of you, my life and my job would be a lot easier. I'm glad that you found this purpose, and I think this is something that you'll do the rest of your life. I'm really proud that I could be a small part of you finding this. This is why I like doing what I'm doing, is hearing stories like that, because you're great at it. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do taking pictures for me very soon for my show, because I usually have my family do it. They're all in the show or they're at college. The person I trust most to take good pictures behind my family is you. I think you're gonna do something with this the rest of your life. Probably professionally you'll be doing stuff, but even if it's not, you're gonna be doing it on the weekend all the time. You're gonna be that dad that has the $5,000 camera at the Little League game with the lights and everything like that, and I think it's beautiful and I love it.
I think I'm very lucky to have a brother like Ashton. I think he had a huge impact on who I am today, because without him, I wouldn't be the person I am. He's found his way really hard times through helping others and through photography. Yeah, I don't know how much of this is usable, and he's not even here, but like, I'm just unbelievably lucky to have a brother like Ashton. Because, you know, like, I went through my own stuff, depression, anxiety, in different ways, and he never made it about himself, and he never made me feel less of a person or less of a man for feeling that way. And he's just the kindest person. Very sweet, very gentle, very careful with how he treats others, very mindful, and I think I'm just unbelievably lucky to have him as a part of my family.
I think COVID robbed you of becoming who you are through experiences. And I'm glad that you found photography to give you back pieces of who you were and who you were meant to be, through the passion and coming like back to life. And I'm glad you are you and not like sulking in your room, talking to no one, all alone, feeling like you don't have a purpose because you found a creative outlet you're passionate about.
I just know that I've seen it, and you being able to pick yourself up and find something that you enjoy doing, it's just very...
Okay.
It's very nice.
Okay.
It was too scary there for a while. It should make you up crying. It's happy tears now. It's happy because I'm so happy watching you out there taking your pictures and seeing them after they're done. Like, wow, those like are crazy good. Like, so very, very proud of you.
Anything else?
No, I love you very much.
Thank you.